since I did a live stream painting. But today we're gonna paint with this electric Colgate toothbrush. Can't really, you can see it a little vibrating a little bit, but I just want to see. I just want to mess around. I need to get out of my head and finally just make a painting. And before we do that, actually, we're gonna do some cleaning here. I'm gonna use this Masterson sealable palette, and we're gonna clean it up. So we're actually gonna wipe it down a little bit. View channel. Let's see.
Mr. Scout. How's it going, buddy?
And we're gonna go. All right, we actually got to clean this palette here. And that's what we're gonna do first before we try anything else. Place to put this painting. Uh-oh. I didn't plan my session very well. So hold on one second, people, as I get myself situated here. Need to get some gloves before I get started on this messy project. What's going on, Kim Chin? Kim Chin, is that how you say that? What was that crazy? What is that crazy emoji? Who's got the craziest emoji? Let's see your craziest emojis. Start a poll. You good? You good? All right, so we're gonna start a poll. Gonna pop open art supplies. Actually, you know what I want to do right now is I want to lower this right now because so everyone can see how you clean this palette and why this palette is so wonderful. So this is a sealable palette. This palette is sealable, and I have a glass palette on the inside. And what we're going to do right now is we're actually going to clean up. We're actually going to clean this up. Wow, I still have so much paint in here that I totally forgot I actually had. I should have spread it onto this. I thought I was going to paint the day later, but anyways, we're going to clean up this palette here. Some of the paint definitely still is not dry yet. Open my paint supplies. And here's how you clean this. Let's go ahead and pop out my glass palette. So first of all, there's a glass palette. I have my glass palette here. Gonna just drop that. It's a glass palette. So it's tempered, but you still have to be careful not to drop it. And it has fallen a couple times because I have cats that like to jump onto my stuff. But fortunately, it was inside the plastic container, which I think saved it, helped to absorb some of the pressure. And as you could see, as far as I could tell, there's no. Oh, what is that oil? There's definitely some oil on here that still has not dried, but that's fine. It's on the bottom side, which we'll just leave it at that. But here's how you clean this. Take a nice little flat razor right here. Baxos. What's my most unpopular opinion? Darth Vader? What is this? Oh, is this Darth Vader? No, this is not Darth Vader. What's my most unpopular opinion? I have a lot of unpopular opinions. I think that art critics, most unpopular? I don't know. There's a lot of opinions that I have that could be highly unpopular. But I don't know. What would be like an unpopular opinion? Should I just ramble them off? That's probably a bad idea. You shouldn't really share unpopular opinions. should leave some of your opinions a mystery. What do you really want to know? Internet trolls are welcome to my live stream, by the way. So here we go. Isn't this nice and rewarding? Like all you see is just me sliding this paint across, and it just goes straight over all of this space and cleans up this palette really nicely. And at the end of this, you just have all this paint, this hardened paint, just stuck and disconnected from it. And that's all you do. You just keep scraping. That's the one great thing about a glass palette, is all you need to do is scrape. That is it. If you can scrape, if you get one of these scrapers on a glass palette, you're good to go. You are good to go, just like that. Look at all this. Comes right up. Now there is a little bit of wrist power, pushing power that you have to use. So, you know, if you don't want to put in this manual labor, sometimes you might want to try something else. There are like glass palettes that work just as good, but overall you do have to put in this work to clean up your palette if it's a glass palette. And this is actually kind of fun for the people that, you know, might enjoy something like this. Or, you know, if you're an artist and you know somebody in your life that would want to do this for you, you can have them do it. But it's actually kind of rewarding just to peel off these layers of paint that are onto this canvas here. I'm gonna go brush off some of this in the garbage can because there's a lot of brush paint flakes right now. I pretty much have to do this like every few months. Excuse me. Alright, so let's start from this other side. We're going to swap this around. And we're just going to push from this side. Oh, you know, I think the general rule for any time you're using a razor, always raise away from you. I don't know if that's the word, but you know, always push away from you when using sharp objects. That's a general rule. Safety, people, safety. And honestly, if I was patient, I wouldn't have to do as much. Like you could see that all I need to do is wiggle it around a little bit if I'm patient. But if you want to make it go faster, you could put a little bit more force behind it. But it all depends on you, right? Like if I want to go faster, but also on this this isn't the most ideal surface to be working on, my easel, because it's wood and it's working on top of a drawer right now, the easel drawer, which means, you know, it's not the most sturdy, and honestly it's probably pretty easy to bend. I've definitely noticed my easel warping a little bit because I'm pretty rough with it. I'm pretty rough with my easel. You know, I take it out with me to go paint outdoors. And, you know, I'm doing stuff like this, which constantly bends the wood. But at the end of the day, you got to make your choices as to how you're going to manage your space creatively. And this is how I work. So I guess I probably could do this on like a table or something, but this is the easiest way just to knock this out. But you can see how this paint just comes off. You just got to wiggle your hand. You don't need any chemicals or anything. I think you could use chemicals to clear off the surface a little better, but it's not really necessary. If you let the paint dry, it pretty much comes off pretty easily.
here. What you got? Such a little damn neat.
All right, let's clean this. Let's get this brush settled again. Chunks of paint here. All right, we're almost done with this, and we will start doing what y'all came for, which is starting to paint. And you know, with safety and everything, just use your judgment, right? I know I'm saying always cut away from you. And here I am cutting towards my hand. What's great about these metal, the razor, is it doesn't really, it doesn't scratch the glass, which is fantastic. That's what you want. You want something, or even if you scratch the glass, it wouldn't really matter that much. You'd be surprised at how effective this, just a good old razor blade is at scraping off the surface here. And this is the Masterson sealable palette here. The Masterson sealable art palette. I mean, this is the glass palette as part of the that I usually keep inside of Masterson. The reason why you want a glass palette with oil paint is because it's easier to clean, and with this palette specifically, it's got a gray background, which means, you know, the gray background, you have the option to have that neutral color. And I'm doing my best to pretty much just shave away all these thicker layers of paint. But you know, of course, you always want to go away from you. That's the safety lesson right now, is just do your best to go away from you no matter what direction you're going from. And the only reason why I would want this extra clean is so that I can, you know, get a better visual, have a better visual. It's a visual thing to have a nice clean palette. And you don't do this all the time, and even when you do, it's honestly not that bad. It doesn't feel like work. I think for an artist, it's probably rewarding because you're, you know, really getting your hands moving, and that often feels good. Clean off this razor a little bit. Let's go around the other direction here. There we go, and you can see like all this paint pretty much comes off. Now you can't do this on an acrylic palette. So if you're trying to do this oil, and if you have you know, the really cheap acrylic palettes that cost like $5, this won't work. You're just gonna have to throw it away. Now, you know, the good thing is that those are cheap palettes and they're disposable. But for the price of one glass palette, you're probably gonna make your money back, you know, with all the money that you could spend, $5, $6, $7 here for every acrylic palette, you do definitely make your money back. I mean, you do save money in the long run if you plan on doing this for a while. Painting for a while. I mean, if you plan on making this like a long-term, you know, either hobby or professional activity, the glass palettes come in very handy. And as you can see, it's pretty easy. And there you go. Half the palette's pretty much done. It's only taken me about 10-12 minutes so far. Let me clean off this brush, this palette again. And now we're almost there. Let's start from the other side here. I'm gonna just go from the other side. And yeah, at the beginning of the stream I was saying, you know, always go away from me when you can. But honestly, this way, I'm realizing that if I go this way, it makes it a little bit easier because I can actually kind of press it against my body in order to get the leverage. But you can see that the paint comes off pretty easily on the glass palettes. And here we go. Let's go. Almost there. Honestly, these palettes become works in themselves, works of art in themselves. I probably do this like once every quarter when a lot of paint starts to build up. Because if too much paint starts to build up, you know, it's nice to just get a fresh palette. Especially, you know, there are some artists who have huge piles of like paint that are just dried. You know, there's some artists that keep that. You know, it's great if you have a very large palette space to work with. It's kind of like, you know, something that you could have as like a trophy, just this huge pile of paint that is maybe unused. You know, it's kind of like a little mountain of paint trophies. But you know, I like to keep my palette cleaner. I also don't have the space for all that. Some people have a lot of space with which to have these large areas of paint. Large mountains of paint. And because I have a sealable palette, you know, at some point the paint just dries so much faster. Having the sealable palette keeps your paint lasting at least like an extra week, 3 days to a week, depending on the type of paint you use. And there's definitely, you know, some paints definitely last longer than others, for sure. I'm just going to clean off this little green area. just get this off nice and clean, and we'll get this done. And then we'll start painting with our toothbrush. Obviously, don't use the toothbrush after you're painting with it. That could be very bad. I don't recommend this for everybody. Let's go ahead and clean this off here. Yeah, why is the stove on? Why is Cookie sitting here in this box?
More questions?
There we go. Wasn't that fun, everybody? So look, we got a nice clean palette. All of you saw what it was like before, and now we got a nice clean palette from which to work. You know, I have a couple spots, but compared to, you know, some other palettes, this is pretty decent. And you know what? You can always do it better next time, or focus on a certain area next time. But let's go ahead and change our gloves here. Actually, you know what? I want to use a vacuum real quick. I want to vacuum up the area. What's up, Michael Wilbur? Hope you're doing great. Cat hairs. What's up, Bowinator? Yeah, we definitely vacuum up. This is not a finger painting. Michael, this isn't a finger painting. All right. Let's go ahead and start painting, people. I haven't really painted in a while, so we're just going to use a toothbrush here. Just a nice dry toothbrush. Can you see the vibrating? Probably can't see it vibrating, but just know it will. You can hear vibrating, that's good. So maybe this will run out of battery at some point, but let's go ahead and get started on this painting. First painting in a little while. I haven't done this. Feel so rustic. Is that a word? Rustic? I feel so rustic. Rusty. Usually to break out of a funk, I usually try to do something abstract. You know, something that doesn't require me to be overly accurate or specific. So we're just gonna focus on a couple colors. Let's focus on like a yellow. Let's start with our yellow here. Lay down some of our yellow right to where the yellow used to be. And let's do some you know what, let's use yellow, yellow ochre. And then we're going to go with the burnt sienna. Yes, we vacuum up lots of cat hairs for sure. Some burnt sienna here, lay that down. And then we're going to find just a nice deep shadow color. Let's just see what happens. Let's start mixing this. I'm going to go with a raw umber. I guess a raw umber is a good dark shadow color. Oh, that just squirted oil all over the place. Let's start with that. Clean this bit off. Let's just see what happens. I guess we'll start with just some of the shadows. Let's work with our shadow colors here. And we're gonna go just grab this toothbrush. Look at that, nice toothbrush. Doesn't really do anything, honestly. Interesting. Honestly, I don't think it does anything more than like a regular brush. Maybe what'll happen is if we add a much brighter color to it, we'll find something unique. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to start mixing these paint colors too much onto this canvas or onto this toothbrush. So let's go. There should be a lesson on brushing here. All right, stop. And then now I'm gonna grab some of our yellow here. See what we come up with. We're actually gonna lay this yellow down directly onto the brush. Let's just build out from the center here. Really, is this doing anything? I don't know. I think I need a larger vibrational device. I think the device needs to, yeah. The device doesn't vibrate enough to a level where it actually like, I don't know, it's doing something. I feel like it gives it like a more of a like, gives it a more like, more of a feel, you know. It makes it spread the paint a little easier. Like when I'm doing this motion, kind of spreads it and mixes it a little better. It's like smooth. It actually goes around pretty smoothly here. All right, let's try some of this red. I'm gonna grab some of this red here. Let's go like this. We're just gonna move this around the outside here. Let's swirl this around the outside. I'm gonna do something that I might regret. We're gonna dip this in some oil, and we're gonna let the oil do some work. And if I really wanted to pretend to be a genius, what I should do is I should try to like actually make this into something like a real cool image. But I'm not going to do that. You know, we all love those paintings where like it starts off like this crazy thing and then suddenly, you know, they turn it into this like masterpiece. I love like reels like that, but I don't do that. That's not what we're doing today. Yeah, I don't think this really does anything more than if I was to just use a brush without it. In a gallery setting, people would pay hundreds of dollars for a ticket to line up and watch me do this. Hundreds of dollars. I would charge $500 per ticket. But on YouTube, you can get it for free. Now let's grab this right here. And hopefully, eventually, something appears, makes itself appear. Because I'm using all these like wooded colors. You're gonna have an effect here. I was really thinking that this would actually create like a much more textured look. But I don't think it is.
Oh, clean, yeah. Cover it.
Yeah, I think the I think the vibrations have to be best place for this toothbrush is the trash can. You think so? You don't think we're making anything unique, Michael? You don't think that this is a masterpiece?
It's kind of bloody.
Basically what she's saying is it looks like poop.
Yeah, it does.
Who smeared the poop all over this canvas? Yes. It looks like a monkey painted this. Look, sometimes I just want to mess around, okay? It looked better before, didn't it? Michael says, no, it's mud. All right, can we save this? I need one good like contrasting color, which I think should be an ultramarine blue. We're gonna go with that. Let's go with our ultramarine blue here. All right, let's grab some blue here. I'm gonna grab a nice chunk of blue. You know, we're gonna lay it onto the canvas directly. We're gonna dip this into our, this one's gonna go into our oil again. Nice bit of oil, nice oily brush. And let's just start spreading the blue. I think it needs some more oil. Maybe I should use the other side. What is this? Use my fingers.
Finger painting.
Let's see. We might take a request. We might take some requests here in a few moments. But for now, I want to work on continuing with this masterpiece. Using oils. This is one wet oily painting. I will say that the vibration helps it make the brush feel like it's going over way smoother. This is what happens when you put adults on YouTube. Adult artists on YouTube. We could call this madness. You lost your glasses?
Yeah, the reading glasses.
All right, now let's grab some of our... Let's grab a nice chunk of yellow. Let's get some pure yellows here. Lay that down. Another chunk of pure yellow up here. Nice chunk of yellow right in there. Right in here. And get it clean off this brush here. Let's go. Bam. Ah, there we go. I feel like the battery's starting to run out. So if I happen to run out of battery during this live stream, I will totally use my fingers. I can feel the oil seeping in through my gloves. I feel like oil has a very like thin, has a very thin or very small molecule that allows it to permeate surfaces. Is this what painting is for? Is this what paint was made for, so that you could do goofy stuff like paint with a toothbrush? I don't know if this was what the greats, the masters, originally made oil paint for, right? Oil paint was made so you could paint masterpieces and great art of the people. But here I am. We're using a toothbrush to paint wackiness. Can you consider this great art? I don't know. What is this? What do people think? What will people say? What would the people think? Here we go. Use my thing. You gave a bunch of neighbor kid a sets of acrylic paint. The kid ages range 8 to 10. Give them brushes and a canvas. Mud. They made mud. Well, you know what? You can't expect them to, like, you know. Oh no. I guess that means I have to use that color now. Can't expect 8 or 10-year-olds getting paint for the first time to just make a masterpiece. Can't even expect an adult painting for their 100th time to not make something look like mud, aka me. Can't even expect me to make it not look like mud. How are you gonna expect a 8 to 10-year-old dealing with paint to not make their paint look like mud? Your expectations are too high, Michael. Honestly, one of my early paintings looked like this, and I've since painted over it. I call this Colgate. Can you name a paintbrush? I mean, a painting after a brand like that? Or I wonder if there's like copyright to it.
Colgate was somebody's name.
Oh, yeah, but then he trademarked it and copyrighted it, right? Look at that. Oh, yeah. How long can this battery last for? My goodness. This is an ad for the battery lifespan of the Colgate toothbrush. It lasts longer than you could possibly brush your teeth for. Like, I've been brushing this canvas for about 20 minutes now, and that's probably about at least a good 20 times of brushing your teeth an entire month. Or no, 10 days. I brush my teeth at least twice a day, so that'd be about 10 days. But you got to realize I've done this at least a few times already. I've used this brush. I use this brush already a lot, and so we're going way over 20 times. Can this paintbrush outlast me? Can the battery in this paintbrush outlast my desire to paint? What happens if I just like let it sit? Yeah, you can't even really tell the difference of anything here. All right, well, I think I'm done with this experiment. I was really hoping for something a little bit more textured. I think that, you know what, I will say this has some really unique textures that I wouldn't have gotten with just a regular paintbrush. But I don't know. Let's do. Let's grab this dry brush here. I'll lay down some white paint. Actually, you know what would save us? Some reds. I think some nice deep reds could save us. And we're just using a really nice dry brush. A really dry brush. This is really stiff too. And let's see how we can, just how this, honestly, this could have done just as good of a job. Let's actually add some more white. I think white saves any painting from the brink of destruction. So we're going to grab our white here. Let's actually take it with a palette knife. How did they not get out? Yeah, but it's not that hard to unduct tape yourself. All right, so let's go like this. Where would be a good place to add these whites in? We're gonna go find like right in here. We're just gonna use like a little, I don't know, like a wispy technique just to get these colors spread across. I love how like white creates this like texture.
For a little test ride and get a few bumps. No big deal, right? But you want to run the roast, don't you, son? Son, teach you to.
Get some more white into the clouds here. I want to use a different brush. A dry brush. Let's find a good dry brush here. Just gonna take this little dried old ratchety brush that's super stiffened, and let's just create some textures with these. But I want to get it nice and wet. Nice and wet with oil. Anytime you're feeling stuck, I feel like you can always like make something that looks like a flower, and instantly it looks kind of nice. Like that, you know? Doesn't this almost look like a flower and it's kind of nice? Even though it's like this whole painting is generally pretty ugly. Let's mix it. Let's mix it into these yellows here. That's why you got to study nature, so that you can know how to save yourself in painting. If you start to add stuff that looks like it's from nature, I think you can pretty much always save a painting. I'm making this up, by the way. This is stuff that may or may not be true, but it sounds right. Let's see, we can. Let's go. Let's grab our blue here. Grab this, surround ourselves with some white here. Is this based in Santa Monica, right?
Yeah, but it's originally an Australian show.
Oh, is it? Let's see. There's a use for a scraper here. Let's see what happens. Let's go. Let's grab a nice piece of cardboard. Nice chunk of cardboard, and let's pull a good old. Is the guy? I don't know the guy's name. He's known for like scraping paintings all the way down. Actually, no, I probably don't want to use a paper material because then it's just gonna absorb the paint. I want to make it spread. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just scrape this down. Ah, it actually looks kind of nice, huh? Trying to figure out how to scrape this off. What do you say?
Give this to your girl. Girls like shiny stuff.
Is he trying to make it up to him?
Who knows? This whole family is so strange.
He's being inducted.
Yeah, we're trying to make sure that you want to wrap him up.
Yes, he does. Do you know if he betrays them at the end, or does it become like,
No, because I didn't see the whole thing. I saw like.
or does he become the official
I don't know. But
overlord?
I was watching it one time when I was dog sitting.
All right,
It's on a different platform than everything.
Michael, are you ready for the hand painting? Let's start with white. We've got a lot of muddy colors on this. Let's get some yellow. Nobody has that much fun in pool parties all the time.
It's like these guys always have fun. That's what they live for. Fun.
Mm.
It's not fun.
Listen, baby. That's the beauty of being a mother. You never have to fix up. Yeah, sure.
Huh?
But he's gonna puke.
Why?
Plus he's doing shots of tequila and he's only like 16.
Oh. Is he 16? Oh. Ah, I do. I need to bring a wrench with me at all times because it tends to get stuck here sometimes. All right. Getting a wrench now. It's righty tighty, lefty loosey, right? Yep. Huh?
Yep. You seen me over here?
A little bit. Ah, you were right. How'd you know what he was gonna do? How do you know everything, Kat? Everything about everything.
I have seen this second.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hey, sorry I'm late. Got me no stress. Smoking a little.
Security guard died. And he wasn't just a security guard, he was a real cop. In Long Beach. He money to support his family. He's been playing nonstop. I haven't called him 10 times.
Sorry, we were talking about the show.
I gotta make sure I clean this house.
Hey, can't stay here now. I gotta get home and clean this out.
Home.
Take another week.
No. I will get Crystal to take her.
Smurf will be fine. She can just,
Why? Put her in the corner eating candy while you figure out what to do about the cop you killed.
please.
Yeah, wait. No. Yes, Catherine, he left an hour ago.
Come on, Smurf. Turn it on now. Red. You think you get some more oxy?
What are you dealing with drugs now? Is that what this is?
No, Jesus.
I was told you 28 Coke, you have enough OD. Twice.
I'm big. I gotta say more. What?
Just do it. Just see what's touching here.
Reflection of theirs. Oh, come on. You know I'm good for it.
Fine. It's not till you pay me.
Sorry.
It's okay, sweetie. I raised 4 boys. I've seen a lot worse. Won't you lay back down for another sec, Jay? Something's happened, Joey. Something that involves all of us. You're in this family now. You're going to be seeing things, hearing things that need to stay in this family. Together. First off, we never set out to hurt anyone. That's the way we work. We don't take stupid risks. We're not greedy. But we're human. Sometimes one of these things has to happen. And today we have to deal with the consequences of that. You're gonna be okay. And if you're not, you just have to know there are no secrets in this world. Nothing to remember.
Yeah. What's up, Scout? Did you hear him?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
He said, "Mom, what you doing?"
Jay, I need you to go find Aaron. I got hold of the other boys, but I think he's probably sick. I need you to bring him home.
So I actually have this big glass thing here, peaceful and beautiful. Thank you. You can see my face in the reflection. Here, let's see this. I'm gonna use glass to spread this. Not much came off. I was expecting much more, but Didn't really work out.
Yeah, where's that? She didn't say. Hey, go ahead and like it for that. I'll give you a lift. I like the ride.
Why is he trying to run him over?
Because they're all assholes. This family is just completely made up of stupid assholes. That like to do stupid things.
Is glass recyclable?
I don't know if that kind of glass is. Where'd that come from?
One of my frames.
We have to destroy the watches. What? What? What's in the world that won't flip up the death of a cop?
Shouldn't have done the job in the first place.
That's great. Well, helpful. Thank you, Paul.
Or let Einstein scout the security company to bullshit.
Okay, that's enough.
What about the other guard? Are you sure he can't ID you?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. You have to be fast and behind you. Fast and
You were in that.
Except when we
Why would they find drugs on ties to ski masks? Listen, chicken.
exactly what
Better hope not.
that was the plan. Well, the cops match the DNA, they arrest them. If they find them dead in the desert, the police are arrest. Maybe not the police.
All right. Let's see, what else do we do with this painting? There's so much. I feel like it's just like these colors I'm not a big fan of. You know? Can't say I'm a big fan of these colors right now.
Here.
I was worried Frank was going to bleed out. I had to make the call. I made the call.
You're gonna strip it, bleach it, cut that in 10 pieces, and then throw it into the goddamn ocean.
No. Why us?
Who's Baz's call? Baz made the call.
You wouldn't imagine if you hadn't screwed up in the first place.
What about him?
Huh? He's part of the family now. Why does he get no free ride? Why do we always have to do the drug ordinance? Bullshit.
Jay, after school tomorrow, help your uncles with the phone, okay?
Sure.
You happy now, sweetie?
What you got?
I was in prison. Oh, here's the other better off. Smash what you got. You're tough on me, Smurf. Oh yeah. It's funny.
Smashing bricks?
Yep.
Why?
After a barbecue, just to let off the steam. It's pretty crazy.
He cornered cracks. Williamsburg where he grabbed the tweakers. It's not that dumb.
At what point does she realize she has no control over anything?
This woman?
Yeah. Does she? Does she have any power? I guess she has no influence other than the fact that she's the mom, right?
Well, somehow they listen to her.
Oh, his mom is their sister. All those guys' sister.
Yeah, the kid's mom.
Ah.
There's Pope's twin.
Who's
The
Pope?
one who's smashing the outdoor barbecue.
His twin? Does he not like his sister?
They loved her, but she disowned the family because of their life of crime. And never saw them for 15 years. And never let her sons see their grandmother. But she was young to heroin. So. Maybe he's the pain of her horrible childhood.
Serious. Do all the hard work. She controls the cash. Well, I'm pulling my own down, so this keeps up. Yeah. What do you mean, man? What do you think about that? Yeah. I'm in. Yeah. I don't know if this is what he needs right now.
This is amazing. This painting.
What are you doing? You working or what? Got this.
Sepsis.
Huh?
This guy's gonna get sepsis.
Doing what?
He got shot. And they didn't take him to the hospital. They took out the bullet themselves.
So, what they gotta do? You just gotta keep it disinfected.
But it's already smelling really bad.
So how come they can't just fix it? They don't have.
Oh no, I'm not a doctor.
Oh, okay.
It's not pussy.
He's gonna die.
Probably. He doesn't get looked at by a doctor. He doesn't want to go to a doctor because it's a gunshot wound.
Surprised they don't have their own, like,
The mafia?
yeah. They're not that sophisticated.
Where's the watch I gave you? You heard, sir? I gave it to Nikki. Told me to. Get it back. That was my go-to around church. sorts of shit going on. I'll get dressed and take you to her. Vicky faked me. She called sweating in the shower and I said to pick her up.
Scout. See you trying to sneak out of here.
Oh, yeah, he does it really good. He just grabbed a knife. There you go.
Like when we first found Tom the other day, my mom almost had a seizure.
Yeah?
And she's like, the week that she's on police, even my dad is sick of her and he's about to just be about to great, cool. Even he was game, but of course she talks about it.
How much do you need for Cabo?
I don't know, like, you think?
Stealing. Rob a bank. Serious. Get some cash, drive yourself down to Cabo. You're old enough. You deserve Cabo.
That's what's so come after me.
You gotta be that rough. Do it while they're sleeping. Do that first.
You just say you can tell me your uncle is psycho.
That's a cool watch.
Thanks.
Oh shit. Wow, man.
I'll never take it off.
Oh.
Yeah, the psycho wants it back. It's from the robbery.
Oh. Do you think he set him up or he didn't realize?
No, he didn't realize it at the time. And Smurf said, "You gotta have all those watches. We can't try to sell them." I said, "Huh."
Okay. Time for an upgrade.
Thank you, Peter. For what? I can read back Listen, no, we don't have to do this.
We are not going to start together. Sweetie, it's not worth the risk. Throw the watches in, Barry.
Tina?
Hey, Cookie, what are you doing? Hey, Miss Pat, what are you doing? I'm just looking at your story.
sentences for kids.
Which is why. Yeah, no, you made this figure in your mind.
Nope. You liked it too.
I was angry. Baz and I were fighting. I was drunk. I had a new baby. So what do you say for me?
Have you told that? What reaction?
So then I did what? That I love him, sweetheart. And I need people to know that. To be happy for us. Please.
Still screaming?
Yeah. I'm almost done though.
Baby. Do you remember a secret word? That's right. And you remember what to say. So, there's the frequency. Who can tell me the wavelength? Did someone at least shout out the wrong answer? Cash, the ignorance, fuck out a little learning. Come on, guys. It's not the wrong answer. Last is Friday. Only it lasts. Hey, hang back a sec.
You're just now hearing about his mom?
Only been a day.
Huh?
It's only been a couple days.
Oh, really? All right. Well, hey, people. This was one day back to painting.
Yeah.
We shall work on something new another day. We're gonna close this up. Let it sink in. Let our creation manifest itself into something. Huh?
She likes him.
And you never let me do her homework.
He's like, she ain't that smart. How many seasons is this?
I have no idea. Two?
Really? That's it? Alright, people, we're wrapping up for the day. This was an hour of mess making that we can be very happy for. And let's go ahead and throw our stuff away and wrap this up. All right, take care, everyone. We are done.